Yeah, welcome. So off the jump, I've got to say that Gachiakuta is definitely one of my favorite anime to drop this year so far, and it's from the fact that Studio Bones has not missed to this point on the animation, and to the power system that I'm low-key loving with how it's like so unique amongst every character and how it'll take shape in a giver's hands. And finally, also how like this is also the debut manga and anime from the author known as Kei Urana. And not gonna lie, she looks so cool, and I can see how her looks and personality fuel her designs and even the music choices for her works. Ooh, and I must say, Anga Samu, our Black Queen, is so bad. Like, let me relax, but she's definitely fine shite of the series. But with all that yapping finished, I do want to speak on my main point of today's rant, which is how wild Gachiakuta can be, whether it's the wild fights in animation or the freaky ass moments like with Jabber, like, whom is my favorite character, not gonna lie, but like bro be a little questionable some of, hold up, all of the time with his freaky ass, but for real, and as usual, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our episode 1, yeah! Alright, so from the start we're introduced to a place known as the Spirit, which has a clear division of society, which is being the wealthy and wasteful on one side and the poor tribes folk on the other. Moving forward now to our protag, Rudo, whom low-key I actually fuck with cause like his design is nice and by his demeanor I can tell he's always low-key down to throw some hands. But he also values trash a lot and he sees the potential of it and commonly steals the richest garbage that they just waste away to dump sites, and trust he ain't a bad dude for doing so, but everyone be viewing him as trash. Because of his strips of the dump sites of course, but also because of the fact that his birth father was a criminal and was dropped down into the pit, which is where all the criminals go if your crime meets the criteria. But I'm yapping because we do end up seeing that he's got an adopted father at least, and that's being Regito, whom takes great care of Rudo and most definitely keeps his head on straight, but most importantly gifted Rudo his tough gloves at an early age, which will be more important later on if I end up mentioning something down the line. But Rudo ends up coming home to see Regito being killed by this masked man and rightfully crashes out, but the dude light works him and escapes, leaving Rudo behind to then be apprehended by the apostles, whom don't even give Mans a chance to explain. Wild stuff for real. And I know Rudo ends up being thrown down into the pit and we get a cliffhanger of him seeing these trash beasts, but I had to for sure mention this bitch Shiwa. She's like Rudo's crush and she sees the good in him and practically tells him she loves him, just to immediately switch up on him like everyone else did or had already. So on God, I hate her ass cause the switch up was wild, and I know she's just a kid, but fuck that, I'm a #1 Chiwa hater. That'll wrap up the episode 1 yap, but now for some wild stuff I want to go over from the rest of Gachiakuta, yeah. So the very first moment I want to go over is when Rudo meets Injin, the first cleaner that we meet in the show, and also a giver meaning an item that you deeply care for over a period of time, and it gains powers based on the user. So that being said, Injin's vital instrument is Unbreaker, and bro low-key was cooking with it while he was saving Rudo, and you know, it's pretty tough. Afterwards though, Rudo is asking hella questions about this trash land. You know, Injin gets annoyed at the blabbering and practically tosses him to the wolves, which are these bandits, with good intentions of course, but due to this, Rudo gets captured because of his relation to the spear he fell from. Rudo though is low-key getting pissed and has his first of many crash outs and bites off the bandit's fingers, and then even awakens his giver powers that stem from his gloves and allows him to turn any garbage he touches into a vital instrument. So in my opinion, it's a reasonable crash out on the bandits, and he damn near kills one of them, which is a little extra, and it's the one that he chewed the fingers off of, but Injin comes and settles him down and concludes the crash out. So from the jump of finally meeting Jabber Wonger, we can tell bro likes to fight, which you know, if that's all it was, it'd be fine, he'd fit perfectly in Dragon Ball, but as his first fight with Rudo drags on, bro's enjoying it too much, you know, to the point of arousal, so bro's a freak. Oh, and his vital instrument are these claws, which the left side has a powerful neurotoxin that can be injected in others or himself, which boosts his freak, or the right has a painkiller with another function that we just don't know yet. But moving on, he ends up using the left gloves to take him over the edge and has Rudo on the ropes until Zanka checks back in to tag team him, which they promptly take care of. But this man Jabbers for real pure masochist because he injects the painkillers. Enjoyed the fight, and then you know runs off with Rudo. Once at the surface though, we see his complete freak show up after Injin gut checks him to save Rudo, so Jabber, beaten into a corner and being looked down on vocally, mentions that he's getting a hard on to all the strong looking guys, and I'm crying cause like I almost freaked out. They finally make a Dreadhead, right? But he's such a masochist. But hey, I do still fuck with his powers and character design a lot, and I do eventually plan on cosplaying him too, because it's so my style outside of being freaked to the brim. What should I start with for Amo? Well, she's very crazy, respectfully mentally ill, but I should say she had a horrific childhood to feel the insanity. So Amo from a young age is sold off by her mom to this trafficker whom is mad creepy but also a giver, but he takes Amo to this tower within like a no man's land where she just stays in a single room pretty much all of the time, and this creep also performed like, let's just call them rituals with her in the name of love, so I'm already just waiting for this guy's downfall literally. Which literally comes to be after the masked dude who killed Regto takes the boots from the creep and like gives them to Amo, so Amo now has the boots and has a scuffle with the creep who's upset at that fact, and she eventually and accidentally pushes him down the tower. Hell yeah. But I mention all of this just so y'all understand, like, that I don't necessarily justify her future actions, but I do understand why she's fucked up. Moving on to the present, and after the scuffle that she and the Clingers got into due to her giver ability to release a gas from her boots to control others pretty much, they come to a wrap. And after Rudo crashes out on her, which, that was crazy, but after she is seemingly more composed and gives them the info they were seeking, so she's maybe on the path of joining the Cleaners because she's actually cool and collected after the fight, but they leave and, shit, she's nuts at first. So for some of my final thoughts now, like low-key, this anime, I ain't gonna lie, kinda tough. And the designs of the world itself, the characters that are constantly introduced, and even the methods of how they go about showing how crazy a character is, but also giving backstory as to what can be the reason, is all in all wild, but a good wild. So for the first half of season 1, 9 out of 10, and I do promise to check out the second half soon to rant over as well, but I do have some anime that I want to get through first before I come back to Gachiakuta. But with all that said, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, and maybe even sub up, because I gotta say thank you so far in the growth. About to hit 120, I think. So, hell yeah, I appreciate it. But I'm yapping though. I'll see you in the next video.